Good morning, good afternoon, whenever you're gonna hear this. Main messages with consent. Gives yourselves a hug like you never hugged before. Welcome to a special occasion coffee with yours truly. Priestess of the goddess, yes, did say priestess and did say goddess. Welcome, goddess blessed. You don't have to be spiritual, you can be non sectarian, non dogmatic, not accept the spirituality, the philosophic art. And first and foremost, I will say gratitude. Thank you, farmers, because everybody gotta eat. Please, farmers, if you do make 1 million on Wall Street, buy, sell, trade stocks, futures, options, puts. 10% of a million is 100,000. Please give for food security, give for LGBTQ youth services, for women's sports leagues, and for, of course, Mother Nature to plant a tree for every tree. Welcome to this special yours truly, priestess of the goddess, Goddess, seven holy, sacred, divine letter word, from which I am calling all willing, loving to support the mission, vision, and philosophy of the Dancing Goddess Army, the DGA North American Integrated Dance League, aka International Integrated Dance League, a non-sectarian, non-dogmatic, all-inclusive dance league, which is part of my dream, which is part of the ongoing dream, the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Kingdom, which are one. The Dragon Empire and the Dancing Goddess Kingdom are one. The DGA. First, gonna put a cup of coffee. Thank you to the farmers, butchers, bakers, nurses, grocery store clerks, and all involved in the production and distribution of food, to the workers of Hydro-Quebec, who, with brains and muscle, built 63 dams across this province of la belle province, avec le ciel bleu puis la déesse. Oubliez mais on danse, pas beaucoup de jazette, plus de danse. A little bit of dance offering kisses, because kisses got from the goddess credited 718 trillions of kisses, by which yours truly is founding the Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Kingdom, the kingdom of which is a world peace dream, of which I am grateful that I will present a special Trinity, part one of a special Trinity coffee with yours truly, HANNAH. And be grateful for this honey. I'm gonna put a little bit of honey in the coffee. Thank you to the bees, as all the fruits, vegetables, and legumes are made, created, and produced by the dance of the goddess with her brother son. All the fruits, vegetables, and legumes are created, made, and produced by the goddess with her brother the son. I said all the fruits, vegetables, and legumes are made, created, and produced by the dance of the goddess with her brother son, who now rises and now sets, and are harvested, those fruits and those grains and those legumes, by my brothers and sisters, farmers, whom I send big love, big kisses. That's what I gotta offer. Hugs, kisses, tickles, some brain and some muscle, some philosophy as the world's greatest dancer, dancing for Mother Nature and civilization, and that is the essence of the DGA, the Dancing Goddess Army, my dream, which I'm gonna sweeten. Thank you, the farmer here from La Belle Province, from the city of Wotton, 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 Quebec, about that way, northeast, about 40, 2 hour drive from here. I'm grateful that I got this honey, which I'm gonna sweeten a cup of coffee. In yours too, we're gonna philosophize, we're gonna art, we're gonna imagine, and we're gonna discuss and meditate about all things of nature and civilization. And of course, that we have the privileges of civilization, such as housing, electricity, and of course transport. And this honey, which was provided by a farmer, thank you, farmer, who provided this honey, this cup of coffee, which I'm about to drink. Holy black coffee bean, was made, created, and produced initially by the dance of the goddess with her brother son. The dance now rises and now sets, and harvested by one of my brothers and sisters, farmers somewhere in the world, who harvested this cup of coffee, the black bean that is, which comes from a red berry. And the transformation and the production was on a truck, and it was on a highway, or it was on a train, and it rock and rolled all the way to yours truly, priestess of the goddess lair in the underground room of Sun Temple, in order to drink it and to do a meditation. So thank you, farmers, because everybody got to eat. Even Wall Street, thank you, farmers, butchers, bakers, nurses, doctors, all involved in the production and in the distribution of food, because food is holy, sacred, and divine, and it enables us to do civilization, to do art, to work out, to train, to exercise, to love, L-O-V, love with consent. The main message is with consent, give yourselves a hug. H-U-G, like you never hugged before today, is the main message of the priestess of the forgotten goddess, who doesn't have a many a temples. They got a plenty of temples, plenty of temples, plenty of spaces. I'm calling. And the goddess doesn't really need a temple because she dances with her brother the sun to make, create, and produce all the fruits, vegetables, and legumes that our brothers and sisters farmers harvest for us to make and build and upgrade civilization. Putting a call of the heart to my sister Riri for that Super Bowl halftime show. Make it late. Let Priestess of the Goddess Goddess do a dance, a dance, dance, dance like you never have seen before, to raise funds for that DGA Dancing Goddess Army, which is my dream, of course, for nature and civilization, for pleasure and for purpose. I'm grateful I'm gonna ingest this black coffee to give me some energy to clean my room off some temple, to write poetry, to encourage people to work out, to train, to exercise, which has been, is, and will be my therapy of choice. And Priestess is not perfect, got some issues and some vices. Should I hide my vices? Should I hide that I get dirty? Should I hide that I get dirty? Should I hide that I like clean it? That I like dirty with a cleaner? That I like dirty with a rainbow? That a rainbow put it on the rainbow where the storm comes, where the storm comes and the clouds ride, and the clouds ride. And we hope, hope, hope that it's gonna be alright. For the DGA Dancing Goddess Army, calling all willing living to support in the non-sectarian, non-dogmatic manner. You don't have to say the word goddess, but we will discuss the word goddess with a poem. With a poem. Oh, there, God, 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 in that singular form, in that plural water storm, emotions and the feelings and the passion and the feel this, and the emotion and the subconscious, and the nature's not only action, it is being, 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 and reaction. Reaction with the action. It the equation, the equation, the equation. Spiritual and holy and divine, what I say, the goddess, 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 who raises grapes on the wine, and many a times priestess be called harlot. Harlot, harlot, harlot. Riding holy rises. Goddess has blue sky above it. The blue sky above it. Goddess and the hawks and the crows and even the penguins rock and roll on the goddess body, who's the sister up above the stars, is staring, staring with the light, staring with the sight, staring to be polite, sometimes rude and obfuscates a light. Arise, 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 priestesses of the goddess, rise, arise, arise, priestesses of the goddess for the DGA Dancing Goddess Army. The Dancing Goddess Army, of course, is a non-sectarian, non-dogmatic, although for purpose and pleasure dream, it is my dream to establish and incorporate a Dancing Goddess League to be a public and a private partnership, meaning all institutions, organizations to support the DGA, the Dancing Goddess Army, to be for environmental education and environmental action, to encourage people to do better recycling, better compost, to of course encourage citizens to go and see how the compost is done, how the recycling is done. And I'm going to say a thank you to our fellow citizens, workers, workers, workers. Thank you to the city workers, sanitation city workers. Thank you, who pick up the compost every week, because it takes some brains and some muscle to maintain and build civilization, and it will require as some brains and some muscles mixed with emotions and the feelings to build and maintain civilization. Brains and muscle has been required and it will require for the maintenance and with creative solutions to find solutions, and this is the dream of the DGA, standing for the acronym of the Dancing Goddess Army. DGA, aka the International Integrated Dance League, what I am calling all to support in any way, shape, capacity, or form online donations do a dance, XYZ points of exclamations, poetry, clack, 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 twerk, dance, rock and roll, rap, do art with consent, gives yourselves a hug like you never hugged before, is the main message. With consent, gives yourselves a hug like you never hugged before. Goddess, oh goddess, that word holy, sacred, and divine. When we roll with the holy grapes from a vine, no vinyl, maybe a lion tame with a snake and a hawk, and a dance and a tick and a clock, and a dancing goddess, music goddess, goddess. With her hairs are the trees, the goddess. The hairs on the goddess's body are the trees. Sometimes you look at the beautiful, majestic trees, and the trees are 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, 7 times bigger, taller, thicker, stronger than even yours truly. The majestic hair on the goddess's body, who now dances with her brother sun. So, in a more mystical, esoteric nature, Mother Nature, the goddess, G-O-D-D-S-S. That word doesn't come easy for some. We hear the word God, God, God. And when they say God, well, the priestess got a goddess. It God, 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 but where your God is at. Clap, 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 and do the rap, rap, rap. Clap, 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 do the rap, rock and roll with the goddess, yep. Do the shaking of the head with some acapella. Like you doing in the dream, hey, rock and roll it. With a scroll, it scrolls lit. From the goddess from ancient Egypt to now North America, she's the same lit. Dances with her brother sun, kissed sun, this moon like this mist. Play the rainbow, play the black and the white, play the white and the black. In the rainbow scarlet with that green, green, and that gold machine. With a story string, with a story string. Where they're dressed for lean, where they're dressed in suits, where they're wearing ropes. Where the G-string rooks, where the dressed in looks, where the football looks, where the priestess does. Please, please, please. NFL Triple D, salaries of the cheerleaders. Please, please, please. NFL Triple D, salaries of the cheerleaders. Please, please, please. NFL Triple D, salaries of the cheerleaders. And support the DGA, calling on all institutions, all organizations, all private and public institutions and organizations, coast to coast, Canada, US, North America, and beyond, to support this dream of the DGA, of the Dancing Goddess Army, but of the Dancing Goddess Empire, to be for an institution, a public and a private partnership for both pleasure and purpose. Purpose for the environment, to help and support environmental cleaning operations, environmental dialogue, and of course environmental issues and causes, of which right here in La Belle Province, Quebec, Priestess acknowledges the past workers of Hydro-Quebec, whom with brains and muscle built 63 dams. Go Hydro-Quebec, go. Thanks to Hydro-Quebec, clean, zero pollution, zero emission energy that the Priestess is utilizing to heat the cup of coffee, to do this live stream, to have electricity to work, extend invitations for cooperation, for participation, for doing the work of the Dancing Goddess Army, looking for willingly loving supporters, volunteers, allies, and pledge your legions for the DGA, Dancing Goddess Army, to also be a sports league, integrated sports league, meaning inviting all other athletes all other sports organizations and institutions. Please, 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 from now on today, let mass financing of women's sports leagues also be an issue. Please, NFL, while averaging 2.2 something million dollar average salaries. NHL, National Hockey League, averaging millions of dollars salaries. NBA is the highest average salary with 7.7 million average. Please, please, please give 10% for the women's sports league, women basketball, women hockey, women soccer. You can do it. Please, 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 Rihanna. You already got your money, and I do have some love for thee. Will you throw that DGA? Dancing Goddess. ARMY. DGA, throw that DGA. Let the priestess of the goddess slay. On the Super Bowl we play. Whether dancing is a sport we say. I say dancing is a sport we say. Dancing is a sport we pray. Dancing goddess temple lays. Hey, that's the time for goddess. With her wings up onto this blue skies. Up in this rocks like the Nile. Go with some fire, go with some fire. Go with some fires, that it upon the waters with some holy fire. Upon the water, do some singing and some dancing. Thank you, farmers. Love you, kiss you, big offers. Kisses God first and foremost. So with those trillions, TRILLONS, trillions of kisses, Priestess of the Goddess is founding the Dancing Goddess Army and the Dancing Goddess Empire. Kisses God. So Dancing Goddess Priestesses who come join the DGA, y'all get credited millions of kisses. Because since have trillions of kisses, a trillion is 1,000 billion. A billion is 1,000 million. So got a plenty of hundreds of thousands of millions in those trillions of kisses. So we can kiss sport play, kiss overtime, kiss for world peace, kiss for the environment, kiss for healing. Dance, 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 get that sweat, sweat, sweat. Workout, train, exercise, encourage and be grateful. As yours truly, Priestess of the Goddess, is in debt, is broke. No money but kisses, some brains and some muscle, some poetry, some poems, you just gotta listen. Listen when I call the names. Don't mind BDSM switch. BDSM switch, BDSM switch. On the rapid with the rainbow lips. On the kiss up in the lips. Do a twist of those hips. I said do a twist of those hips. Let me see you do a twist of those hips. In choreography, choreography, or choreography. When feel the music, please Rihanna. Please let Priestess Hannah dance. It is already 17th of January, so we got about almost close to a month since it's on the 12th. I'm gonna put this call on all those who see this, please. Call a last minute performance. Priestess of the Goddess. I'll give half to my anonymous sister. She rocks, blessed. Be anonymous for all the blessings and XYZ. Give a million, of half of a million, half of a billion, half of a trillion to my anonymous sister, blessed be from the goddess G-O-D-D-S-S, who dances with her brother son, the forgotten goddess. Cheers to the forgotten goddess. The body is a temple for pleasure and purpose. Understanding is an attainment which we seek, we strive to understand others, to understand ourselves. I'm not perfect, far from it. Got issues, got vices, get moody, get lustful. Get lustful, get lustful. Don't play it self-righteous and don't expect self-righteousness. Everybody deserves second, third, fourth chances depending on XYZ factors, and if I do any redemption, it's gonna be first and foremost with KISSES, with kisses and with consent, good hugging and good cooking and good loving. Get dirty, but get back clean. You can get dirty, but get back clean. You can get dirty, but get back clean. You can get dirty, but you can get back clean. and there's work to do in my own room of some temple. The goddess doesn't have a temple, right? In some places, the goddess still has a temple, but the temples of today, whether they be X, Y, Z, are of course mainly to God, to God, to God, God, God. A question to God. Where is the goddess? Question to God. Where is the goddess? A question to God. Where is the goddess? Look about it. Blue sky, beautiful blue sky round about it. Green trees, blue water, majestic mountains. On this mystery, mystery, mystery. A many a names a goddess hath, some sacred beyond sacred, lest I be thundered at, should not be pronounced. 'Cause I'm not enough holy, sacred, pure. I need 77 more bats to pronounce a letter of the holiest name of the goddess. I need 77 more bats, BATHS, to pronounce the holy sacred name of the goddess, just a letter of it. I will need 77 more bats, immersions in water, just to pronounce a sacred letter of the goddess, 'cause she dances with her brother or the sun, and I'm a speck of dust, and I'm a speck of dust, and I'm a speck of dust, lusting, moody, gets upset, gets triggered, piece of dust nonetheless. But I do have a dream, and that dream is the Dancing Goddess Army, aka the International Integrated Dance League, to be a dance league that's integrated across all institutions and organizations, that is a public and a private partnership. I'm calling on my sister Celine Dion to support it, can write a song in French. We're gonna sing a little bit in French. Let's rock and roll in French a bit. Because we are in La Belle Province, Québec. Oh, la belle province, pour la déesse. Faites-moi de l'amour, parlez-moi d'un nouveau jour, avec le soleil qui se lève. Ah ouais, bouge-moi des fesses, que avec consentement se caresse. Puis fais de l'exercice, un, deux, trois, pas par la gauche, puis par en haut, puis par en bas. Oui, comme si, puis par ça, puis par là. Un poème sans gêne. Et oui, s'il vous plaît, augmentez l'hygiène. En public, qu'on s'aime, moi je vous aime. La prêtresse de la déesse. Et le pape. Pour moi, c'est le soleil avec sa danse. Puis pour la lune, ça éclaire. Ça peut être sans gêne. Puis ça peut être laïque, laïque, laïque. Pas de problème. Calling on Sister Celine Dion to support the DGA Dancing Goddess Army. All artists, independent artists, all government institutions and organizations to support the dream for the 21st century. Sports leagues could be an integrated and more cooperative than competitive, although there can be dance competitions, but more generally more cooperative for pleasure and purpose, and be sportsmen, men like, women like, sportswomen like, sportsmen like, sportsmanship like cooperative more than competitive, although there can be, of course, organized competitions and with voting, but for pleasure and purpose. The DJ for pleasure, for dancing, and create a sport of dancing of all forms, of all genres. Of course, Priestess of the Goddesses dances, holy, sacred, and divine, are of course consecrated for the feel of the music, the notes, more of a feeling of a integrating and feeling the music, and then doing the choreography in concordance or in harmony of how the music is felt, whether it is techno, whether it is rap, whether it is rock and roll, all genres of music, classic, soundtrack, all genres of music and all genres of dancing from twerking to classic to tango to all genres of music, which I am, of course, welcoming the DGA, Dancing Goddess Army, the officially international integrated dance league, which I'm calling all willingly living to support across the collective North American civilization right here from Montreal, aka Hawk, Hawk, Hawk Island Snake. River surrounds the island that I'm calling all willing living to support in any way, shape, capacity, or form, and with some joy, the joy and the pleasure of dancing of the body, of which and feel the music to incorporate. And it doesn't matter the level, you can just dance like this, or clap, or applaud. The DGA, the Dancing Goddess Army, the dream of the Priestess, HNH, Priestess Hannah, of the Dancing Goddess Army. Pledge your legions, legions. Got the kisses, got the rocks, got it on the blocks, got it with the trees, got it with the nature, civilization. For nature and civilization harmony, the general objective and mission is, of course, harmony between nature and civilization. By here, we're grateful, appreciating this privilege today that I'm doing this video utilizing clean, zero pollution, zero emission energy. Thank you, Big Kisses offer big kisses to the workers of Hydro-Quebec from the past for more than 7 decades, for more than 77 years now, since 1944, 77 years, have built 63 dams across this la belle province Québec. Je vous envoie les travailleurs du passé qui ont construit les 63 centrales de l'Hydro-Québec. Des bisous, par des bisous, j'en ai crédité par la déesse oubliée, mais qui danse avec son frère, le soleil. Puis on a de l'eau ici, le privilège d'avoir l'électricité qui ne pollue pas, partout, ça pollue pas. Merci, merci, merci. Thank you, thank you, thank you to those workers of past, and I credit kisses and hugs to those workers of the past, and now there's maintenance to be done all across. We're close to 9 million people in this big province of Canada, North America, part of the collective North American civilization, of which, of course, can do a dance to honor and appreciate and acknowledge the privilege of such electricity, which is a privilege of civilization. And of course, we have interconnected, integrated privileges of civilization, such as the electricity, the honey, put honey in the coffee, even the coffee. It is in many ways a privilege of civilization. So, the blessings to safeguarding and maintaining and building a civilization, continuing and upgrading civilization in harmony with nature, and acknowledging that here, utilizing clean, zero pollution, zero emission energy, which comes from water, which is holy, sacred, and divine. The rivers, the lakes are also part of the goddess. So with brains and muscle, let's build the DGA, support the building of the Dancing Goddess Army, officially the International Integrated Dance League, the North American Integrated Dance League, the Dancing Goddess Army, which I am the general founding priestess thereof. For best dancer in the universe, please, Rihanna, Riri's sister, Celine, please. Let the priestess last minute call to dance, D-A-N-C, to dance, to do a dance on the Super Bowl halftime. Gonna give half of, you give me half of what you make, I'll give half of the half you give me, Rihanna, and half of what I make we'll give to my anonymous sister, and with the other one we'll buy a house and can give kisses because have a new temple, and pay the debts because the priestess is in debt, and lay a brick, build the first, buy the first brick for a dancing goddess temple, for a goddess temple. Because there's many a temples for the god. How many for the goddess? There's many temples for the god. How many for the goddess? There's many temples for the god. How many for the goddess? I ask. And I can be non-sectarian, non-dogmatic. Non-sectarian, the DGA, Dancing Goddess Army, is a non-sectarian, non-dogmatic with principles, pro-labor, universal revolutionary centrist. I'm calling a public and a private partnership to create a DGA to be for environmental education, to continuing the education of citizens of how to do better compost, better recycling, of which I am, of course, channeling from the goddess, better ways in the middle paths and creative ways, and of course from knowledge of the science of which have some experience, practical experience in compost, in recycling, and I could always do better. As a matter of fact, I'm going to contact soon in the coming days as eco center and ecological institutions to inquire about some better recycling for certain things, such as, for example, a spray that was used, or shaving cream, or the bottle that is of the shaving cream, or of course the razor blades and so on. The batteries do know, but and other things, but I have some questions in regards to certain elements or certain things which we do utilize, we need on a more or less daily basis to use, and then we have questions: can it be recycled, or can this be composted? So it's an ongoing education and action which the DGA will be partaking on a daily regular basis for environmental education and action, and of course to have events where we do dances to celebrate the farmers, dances to celebrate the workers here at Hydro-Quebec, past, present, and future, and dances to celebrate other things such as farming, such as trains, nature, rivers, river dances, lake dances, satellites dances, satellites, even a satellite dance, because nature and science, and Mother Nature is the greatest scientist. Mother Nature is the greatest scientist. So to organize dance with teams, whether themes such as, of course, fighting racism, fighting things which we have in our hearts, prejudices, myself included. Am not perfect, far from it. Am not perfect, far from it. Am not perfect, far from it. And of course, how does Priestess to the Goddess, GODDSS, fight or try to bring harmony, try and find resolution, solutions to the impasse? First and foremost, with kisses. KISSES, with KISSES, with KISSES, with kisses. Kisses got some hugs, trillions of hugs, some tickles, trillions of tickles. So all who want, with consent, consent, and consent, triple consent, triple hygiene. Not perfect. Subconscious biases we have, elements which trigger us, move us into direction. And to my brothers, of course, brothers and sisters, we have to channel the aggression. We gotta channel it, the aggression, channel the aggression into constructive activities such as working out, training, exercising. Let's channel it with push-ups, with hugs, with kisses, with dances, with kisses, with hugs, 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 with consent, consent, consent. Because love is also action. Because of course can philosophize sunrise to sunset and theorize and spew 1,000 sophisticated words, but sometimes action is required in counterbalancing the poise, action, and philosophy and theory. Philosophy and theory goes halfway, sometimes less, sometimes more than halfway. Sometimes more action, less action is necessary in proportion to the percentages of different theories, different philosophies, different initiatives. Initiatives such as the DGA, the Dancing Goddess Army, which I'm calling all willing, loving to support. The Dancing Goddess Army, the International Integrated Dance League, of which this art, which got secondhand, actually got a lot of things secondhand in the past years. And so I've died during COVID, triple vaccinated, had COVID 3 times. First time was gonna be 3 year anniversary soon, end of January until about mid-February. I was very sick and disease, thought I was gonna die in many ways, did die, but I'm being, of course, reborn in many ways, and I want to move past the impasse. And I've written and I've theorized and I have philosophies and will, W-I-L-L, will and love. Want to be loved, want to love, want to break impasses, want to do, especially see my dream, the DGA, the Dancing Goddess Army. And if I do want to achieve something, let's say before, we go on in another realm and we move on from this earth, from wherever we go, and that thing we call death. Celebrate mine with love making, kisses, hugs, dancing. Celebrate mine with love, kissing, dances, hugs. Celebrate mine with love, kisses, dancing, hugs. And if I do want to see something, I want to see the DGA, the Dancing Goddess Army, and I want to see a temple being built for the forgotten goddess. As Pope, they got their Vatican, right, for the God. If there's something that I've suffered a lot, been suicidal, been depressed. I have conquered depression. I have conquered depression. Have conquered depression with working out, training, exercising, with dance, and with admitting certain things, that we have some lusts. Lust can be holy, sacred, and divine, with consent channeled or sublimated. Two key words of my philosophy is channeling and sublimating, sublimating and channeling, channeling and sublimating, not repressing some things, right? Love my BDSM switch, and androgynous, pansexual. To all my willing, loving allies and armies would consent if I can offer some kisses. Kisses God. Goddess, if I want to see something achieved, done, say built, because I've participated in some buildings, a lot of poems, a lot of work in XYZ factors, but in more work during COVID and all the leaders of the free world, NATO combined, especially dancing and working out, training and exercising and philosophies. And not perfect, far from it. So many things have questions on. Meditating on the internet connection now, going with all those servers, Facebook, in their location, geological location, and all the brains and the muscle required to build it, and the satellites and the highways and the trains. Thank you. Train conductors, freight train, passenger trains. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Love you. Big kisses to the truckers, because they transport so many goods. Now let's do a meditation for the truckers and the railways, which are part of our civilization. They bring the goods to the stores, which of course we need to eat. The honey is transported, which I'm using. The coffee, which I'm drinking, was transported, maybe more likely by truck or by train, possibly, but more likely by truck. But now, around the collective North American civilization, there's hundreds, maybe thousands, maybe tens of thousands of trucks going from Mexico, Canada, US, Canada, Mexico, US, Mexico, Canada, US, going east, west, north, south, going southwest. Let's think of them for a moment. Maybe they could use a kiss. Maybe they could use a hug. Maybe they could use somebody to say love you. Well, Priestess of the Goddess, GODDSS, got LOV for all involved in the production and distribution of food for all the workers. It's an independent artist, independent athlete, the world's greatest dancer, and with some philosophy and some theory. Would have a radio show, or whatever media, with listeners. It would every day, of course, would not pass a day with gratitude and expression of thanks and appreciation to the workers of who maintain and build the civilization, and will build the railroads, build, of course, the railways, the choo-choo trains, build the planes, the pilots, and of course those now transporting goods, tons of potatoes for families, tons of milk, tons of eggs, tons of produce, bananas, oranges. Let's do a meditation. There's 156 tons of bananas coming to Montreal. There's 718 going to Toronto. There's XYZ potatoes going east, west, north, south. Tons, tons, tons. There's grain, grain, grain. There's wheat, wheat, wheat. All made, produced, and created, designed initially by the dance of the goddess Geodds by the dance of the goddess with her brother the sun. Harvested with the labor on my brothers or sisters farmers who harvested those potatoes, those carrots, those bananas for us to build, maintain, or upgrade civilization and do all the things we do in nature or civilization. Requires coffee, requires myself gonna eat later, of course. I say a blessing for the food. So the food, the housing, the transport, these are all elements of our civilization which we have in common, and we have at different moments in time different privileges of civilization. Civilization has its discontents. Not perfect, we have problems, we have issues, we're ourselves sometimes. Yes, I have been toxic. Very toxic, I admit it. Admitting that I've been toxic and I can be toxic to others, yes. It's possible. BDSM switch. BDSM switch with consent. Hug like you never hugged before. As though we have a radio show is no way that would not say gratitude. Send love to the truckers transporting foods, grains to the railway workers. Gratitude, thank you, love you, kiss you. Butchers, bakers, cooks, all cooks. Thank you, love you, kiss you, love you all involved in the production and distribution of food. Love you, grocery store clerks. Hope you get a raise. Love you, grocery store clerks. Hope you get a raise. Love you, grocery store clerks. Hope you get a raise. Please, 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 in the future, the NFL, National Football League, NHL, National Hockey League, NBA, National Basketball Association, MLB. Support the DGA. Give 1% to the DGA Dancing Goddess Army. 1%. 1% of a million is 10,000. 1% of a million is 10,000. Would average 7.7 million in the NBA. Please support the Dancing Goddess Army and finance women's sports leagues. Because no women's sports league makes even close economically, financially, commercially to what the aforementioned sports league make. The NBA, National Basketball Association, NHL, National Hockey League, MLB, Major League Baseball, and NFL, National Football League. I've got love for the sports. DJ with Dancing Goddess Army with asked to do dances before the games. Part of the DGA to be integrated with the aforementioned sports leagues and all organizations and institutions. The DGA Dancing Goddess Army to be for pleasure and purpose. For purpose and pleasure. For purpose and pleasure. Pleasure to dance, joy of dancing. And dancing is a sport. And for environmental education and action. And to encourage citizens to do better recycling, compost, and also to see how compost is done here and how recycling is done. Where does that, especially for the children, to go on trips to see how and where does those big trucks go with that recycling? Where does it crushed? How does it work? Education and action, action and education, vice versa. It requires both brains and muscle and some philosophy and some theory. That's why yours truly is calling all willingly loving to support the aforementioned. So if there's something that I want to see is, it doesn't have to be big or fancy, but maybe 156 square meters. What is that? 156 square meters? How big would be that be? 156 square meters. It's smaller than the Vatican, I believe. It's 1/7, I believe. We're gonna check. So let's say 156 square meters, whatever that is, to be the temple designated, to be round like, go almost like a pyramid round, like a circular circle, like a circle. 156 meters. That's the dream. To have it rainbow colors, red, black, and white pillars, white and black pillars, and rainbow, lots of green, shades of green, representing nature, golden sunlight, with pictures of cities and mountains representing nature and civilization harmony, and people dancing and people hugging and kissing inside the temple. With people holding hands, people kissing, people hugging, people dancing, and a little bit of poetry and songs here and there on the walls. Will be the goddess temple, temple of the forgotten goddess. That'll be it. No specific names because there's many names around about me. Blue skies, trees are the hairs, majestic trees are but the hairs on the goddess's body as I'm auctioning locks of the mane to raise money funds for the DGA. The trees can organize events and dancing with the trees and nature dances and civilization dances, right? Because brains and muscle is required, action and education in a harmonized equilibrium balanced manner with emotions and feelings as they matter with science as well, to dance for pleasure and purpose. So that is also my dream, to build the DGA, Dancing Goddess Army, and of course the Temple of the Goddess, right here, Montreal, aka Hawk Island, first temple of the Forgotten Goddess. That would be the name. Le Temple de la Déesse Oubliée, the Temple of the Forgotten Goddess. Yeah, that would be also hopefully close. If I can make Rihanna lets me do half on that Super Bowl performance show, then we're gonna give half. Gonna finance my anonymous sister's house, and hopefully the house will be very close to where the temple for the Forgotten Goddess will be built. Where the temple for the Forgotten Goddess will be built by my anonymous sister, a house there where the temple, if I get the performance for Rihanna, and I'll give half anyways of $1 million if I make $1 billion or $1 trillion to my anonymous sister. Love. And it is 1:32 p.m. here. I'm gonna do a meditation on nature, who of course has to be balanced with civilization, and it's not always easy to attain, to achieve the balance and the harmony thereof between nature and civilization and nature. To attain this dance in harmony, equilibrium, it's an ongoing discussion, and brains and muscle is required. I believe the DGA Dancing Goddess Army for today, for tomorrow, and for the future is part of contributing to a solution which has a joy and pleasure also as its principle, since the body is a temple for pleasure and purpose. So encourage all to work out, train, exercise regularly, take care of the body with hygiene, and take baths. Wish I could afford a massage therapy session, but cannot afford it. But I'm grateful that I can heat the water to take a BATH, a bath, a long bath, and immerse and meditate. I'm grateful, thankful to the workers, past, present, and future, Hydro Quebec, and the maintenance of the hydroelectricity, which is clean, zero pollution, zero emission. So grateful for the fact that my rent is paid for January. This is January 17th. The rent is paid in full. Electricity bill is fully paid for January, and paid half of my internet bill for January. So that triple bill is paid. I can do fourth dimension after this video, and I can do this video. I can dance, I can continue to knock on doors and writing emails for cooperation, collaboration, and write, rewrite, redo my invitations and my philosophies, and inviting all here from, first and foremost, from Quebec, La Belle Province, and Canada, coast to coast. We're going to contact the coming days, weeks, and months. We're going to contact the ministers of to support the DGA, the Dancing Goddess Army, the ministers of the Parliament, see if they can love with us, the DGA, and all the politicians, all the corporations, all the businesses, small, medium, large, and all citizens, to support this great initiative, which is with fresh ideas and with energy, and for the youth also, for it to be a dancing league which is for an institution, a public-private partnership, fundamentally a PPP, public-private partnership for pleasure and for purpose. For pleasure and purpose, for purpose and pleasure. Environmental regeneration, harmony between nature and civilization, via environmental education and action. We're all working together, the Dancing Goddess Army, with all ecological institutions, eco centers across North America and beyond, and all institutions and organizations praying to cleaning the oceans, planting more trees, doing work in the environment, cleaning the environment, blah, 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 blah. With lots of dancing, with consent, lots of hugging, with consent, lots of kissing, with consent, tickling, with consent, poetry, rap, rock and roll, music, and art and environmental education and action for citizens, even myself included, to be more aware what doesn't go, what goes in the recycling bin, what doesn't go, what goes in the compost, what doesn't go. It's an ongoing education, and sometimes things change. Right? We learn new methods, technology, new ways of doing things. We can do better in compost, or maybe something doesn't go in the compost. We learn, oh, don't put that in the compost next time. Or we do not put that in the recycling next time because it's counterproductive and it's not good for the recycling. Whatever it can be, aluminum, or in terms of metal, or in terms of being a certain plastic, whatever it is, it's an ongoing education, and we're far from attaining and having achieved a perfect recycling system or a compost system. So it's an ongoing action and education, right? It requires, and of course, to organize dances for construction workers, dedicated with teams for construction workers, for railway workers, those working now. Let's do another meditation. How many trains going east, west, north, south? There's passenger trains now in Montreal. There's freight trains going east to west, north, south, like Canada, coast to coast, carrying grains, legumes, all goods, carrying goods, and truckers by the thousands carrying goods. Now those making a sandwich, making a salad, making a hamburger, making something to eat, whether in a fancy restaurant, maybe in an affordable restaurant, maybe in a fast food. That food is holy, sacred, and divine. Thank you those working in production and distribution of food in the fast food. Hope y'all get a raise tomorrow. Now please, 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 calling on the NFL, National Football League, NHL, National Hockey League, BA, National Basketball Association, MLB, to please, for the starting tomorrow, starting today even, and for the future, set up 10% of the tickets to freely give it to the farmers, because they're of course the ones who prepare the food, and all those involved in the production and the distribution of food thereof. So 10% farmers and butchers and bakers who bake the bread. Thank you those who bake the bread. Thank you those who break the bread. Thank you those who bake the bread. Of course, sanitation workers set up to give 10% for the future, for the regular season, for the playoffs, and for the finals. That is a call. And support the DGA, Dancing Goddess Army, give 1%. 1%, and let more than that to do action, to do dances, the arenas, stadiums, coliseums, of the rinks of the NFL, National Football League, NHL, National Hockey League, NBA, National Basketball Association, MLB. Please, 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 for the DGA, Priestess of the Goddess, HNH, to do dances before, after, or halftime. Doing those to, of course, do a little business together for pleasure and purpose, because it's the business of the DGA, Dancing Goddess Army, is for pleasure and purpose. And I am on the call of the heart here to millionaires, billionaires. Riri, please, if you make $1 million on the stock market today, please, multi-millionaire athletes, artists, please give 10% for food security ASAP, because everybody gotta eat. Even Wall Street auctioning this for starting at 156 Canadian dollars. Auctioning this starting at 156 Canadian dollars. Make an offer. It's a broken chain. See, it's a broken chain. It's for bought second hand. It was wore it for a few months, full moons, and it's keychain. It was a keychain lock, but it broke. So I'm auctioning it for the DGA Dancing Goddess Army, officially the International Integrated Dance League, aka the Dancing Goddess Army, the International Integrated Dance League, or the North American Dance League, that I'm calling all to support. It has a public and a private partnership, meaning that reaching out to all governments across Canada, US, Mexico, North America, first and foremost, part of the collective North American civilization, to the institutions and organizations, to individual citizens. Doesn't have to love dancing. You can be support the general mission, but of course we will have dances organized for different causes, but mainly the mission is attaining harmony, equilibrium, and balance between nature and civilization, with education, environmental education and action, environmental education and action, environmental education and action, and to dance for pleasure and purpose, for the goddess and the temple. For very, let's yours truly, Priestess of the Goddess Dance Halftime Super Bowl. Gonna give half of what you make, Riri. From that half, from your, give half what you make, Rihanna, to Hannah. Give half of what you make, Rihanna, to Hannah. Give half of what you make, Rihanna, to Hannah. But to dance there, as we'll dance there to your music, never be foreseen. And from the half that you give me, from half of your full, I'm gonna give half to my anonymous sister and pay my debt and finance the DGA further and lay by the first brick for the goddess temple. Because if I don't want to see something that ain't done, is to build, put a lay brick and do some dancing and some hugging with consent and some massaging to all the workers who want to support the building of a goddess, the forgotten goddess temple. Got kisses, got hugs, got some massage skills, learn massage therapy during COVID, online, not certified but certified. You can say, just say stop, consent, so I can go chuck chuck chuck, and afterwards you can just say stop, okay, blah 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 blah. It's okay, stop, go, stop, maybe later, perhaps today, tomorrow. But that's what I offer for the Dancing Goddess Army and for the building of a forgotten goddess temple. That will be the name of the temple. Temple of the Forgotten Goddess, or just Forgotten Goddess Temple. 3 words, holy, sacred, and divine. Forgotten Goddess Temple, or it can be the Temple of the Forgotten Goddess. It can be both. On when you step in, red and green carpet or green carpet, it says, you can say, you have entered the Temple of the Forgotten Goddess, and on roundabout, circle like, circle like, circle like. On the goddess's temple, you could say the Forgotten Goddess Temple. Forgotten Goddess Temple. Forgotten Goddess Temple. Best sure we're gonna dance for it. Who's willing to relay the first brick? First rock. Mount Royal, Montreal, Hawk Island, Mount Royal, Montreal, Hawk Island, Mount Royal, Montreal, HAWK, Hawk Island. That's what I want to see. A temple for the forgotten goddess, where we have poetry, we have dancing with consent, we have hugging with consent, we have kissing with consent, we have dancing with consent, we have working out With consent, we have meditation sessions of nature and civilization. We have meditations for civilization and nature. And, of course, holy, sacred, divine, new rites and rituals for the forgotten goddess who dances with her brother sun and who sent one kiss, who got one kiss received from the goddess above of heavens, who sent that one kiss to her sister, the goddess forgotten below, who dances with her brother the sun to make and create all fruits, vegetables, and legumes that our brothers and sisters, farmers, harvest first to make, upgrade, or maintain civilization. Kisses, redemption by kisses, justice by kisses. So if I can, we can fight whatever it is. It is. Priestess and the goddess first and foremost via kisses and dances, dancing and kissing, kissing and dancing, dancing and kissing, and with consent, hugging, tickling, and some philosophy, some theory, some art, some rock and roll, some pop, P-O-P, some R-A-P. I'm gonna rap for goddess, close it up with a rapping for the goddess. Yeah. We're gonna close it with some rapping for the goddess. Rapping for who? Ah, yes. Rap for the goddess, rock and roll for the goddess. Let me see you rock and roll it for the goddess. Who's gonna help to build a temple goddess blessed? With a sing and rock and roll, I say goddess and they are stressed. Let me see you give it a kiss. Let me see you give it a hiss. Let me see you give it a hug. Let me see you give it some luck. Goddess, goddess, the forgotten goddess. Would I pray upon the violins and the tambourines? Play it with the snaps of the fingers. Play it with the lingers. We're gonna switch it in French so you can hear us. On va chanter pour la déesse. Ah ouais, ma belle Céline, fonds-moi dans le temple de la déesse. Oubliez, donne-moi pas de l'eau bénite, donne-moi une bouteille de vin. Donnez-moi pas de l'eau bénite, donnez-moi juste une bouteille de vin. Ah ouais, ah ouais, ah ouais, s'il vous plaît, s'il vous plaît, s'il vous plaît. Pour le bleu ciel, pour sa danse, pour la déesse. Oubliez, ah ouais, un arc-en-ciel. Let's go with a rainbow, kiss it. Yeah, don't be shy, you can twerk it. I say work it for the workers, bless it. Thank you with a rock and roll, thank you farmers. Thank you, kiss you, love you farmers. Cause everybody gotta eat, even Wall Street. Gonna rock and roll for goddess, so you can see. With another kiss and another spin. There's the ART for that poetry, yep. For that out of luck, for that blue sky. Even for the satellites, yep. They be traveling far, you see. 1, 2, 3. For the chanting with the singing. For the rock and roll, we bless it. For the rock and roll, we have it. For the rock and roll, we got it. For the rock and roll, we scream it. For the rock and roll, we dream it. For the rock and roll, we sing it. Let me see you hear you clap. Let me see you clap. Let me hear you say L-O-V. Let me see you clap. Let me hear you say L-O-V. Let me hear you clap. Vice versa. What another versa. For the goddess that forgotten priestess Hannah. Would I la la la. Do another tickle. Do another dance. Do another trance. Do another portal lands. Portal rainbow with a dance. For the sky high. With a black earth, yep. With the trees lights. And another light. For the farmers and the butchers and the bakers and the truckers. With the railway workers with that choo-choo train. For that choo-choo train. For that choo-choo train, thank you workers, doctors, nurses, grocery store clerks. Those chopping up the onions to do us some food. 'Cause we gotta eat, even Wall Street. For that civilization and that nature, yeah. We gonna kiss it, we gonna hug it. They go listen with a BDSM. Gotta listen, gotta clean it. Gotta clean it, get dirty up those hands. Gotta nature, Mother Nature dream was the temple of the goddess. Temple of the goddess, yeah, we got it, got it, got it. Oh, was the temple of the goddess, yeah, we got it, got it, got it. Or the temple of the goddess of the forgotten, who dances with her brother's son. Dancing goddess, that's the one. For the moon, and there's the sun, and there's the moon, and there's the sun, and the dance, and they are one. There's the moon, and there's the sun, and in that dance, they are become one. And there's the moon, and there's the sun, and in that dance, they have become one. And there's the moon, and there's the sun, and in that dance they have become one. Via le soleil et la lune, mais dans la danse sont devenus une. Il y a la lune et il y a le soleil, mais dans la danse sont devenus une. Puis il y a la lune, puis il y a le soleil, mais dans la danse sont devenus une. Il y a la lune, puis il y a le soleil, mais dans la danse sont devenus une. Puis il y a de la lune, puis il y a le soleil, puis il y a le soleil, puis il y a la lune, puis dans la danse sont devenus une. And there's the moon and there's the sun. Clearly give me another one. So support the mission to build, lay the first brick right here in Montreal, Hawk Island for the temple of the forgotten goddess. That would be a dream. There don't have to be any specific names, because of course I am a piece of dust and only channel sparks divine, little tiny, 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 small sparks of the forgotten goddesses, rites, rituals, sacred and divine, of the chants, of the melodies. For now goes east, west, north, south, the dancing goddess where I am just a tiny speck of dust. Dust, lusting dust, getting moody piece of dust nonetheless, with some issues, with some vices, but don't play it self-righteous, some solutions got it. For the DGA Dancing Goddess Army, calling all willingly living to support it in any way, shape, capacity, shape or form, volunteering, financing. DGA pledge your allegiance, allegiance, Dancing Goddess Army. Said pledge your allegiance, allegiance, Dancing Goddess Army. Said pledge your allegiance, allegiance, Dancing Goddess Army. aka the creation of the International Integrated Dance League to be for pleasure and purpose and as a public and a private partnership to build a temple for the forgotten goddess. A temple for the forgotten goddess who still dances with her brother's son. That's the temple of the goddess who dances with her brother, the sun, who now rises and now sets. And that is my Pope, the brother of the goddess, the S-U-N. That in the background is, of course, the sort of the emblem, which got secondhand as an art. That is the emblem of the DGA, of the Dancing Goddess Army in many ways, and with my own ideas for the creation of an emblem with a seven-pointed golden star on a green banner, or a green seven-pointed green star on a golden banner, or some red, some black, a golden seven-pointed star on a green flag, or on a green flag, a seven-pointed golden star in the temple of the goddess. Be a seven-pointed star, green, golden, red, green, gold, some black, maybe some rainbow, but mostly green of shades of green. That's what I want in the seven-pointed, seven stars. The entrance roundabout and inside the main area, a seven-pointed star. The forgotten goddess, to the forgotten goddess, to the forgotten G-O-D-D-S-S, goddess, 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 goddess.